like give me feedback during the show, and then I was like, oh my god, I forgot.
Oh,
And it was the one week where I did like visuals. I talked about all these badges and how every badge had like a memory, like all these things I have hanging in the office. So I'm like holding them up and showing.
too funny.
I'm such an idiot.
And there's nobody there to watch. Nothing.
And it didn't
Right.
record because like I didn't hit the buttons. Like I can't even go back and like show it because it never recorded.
Oh, that's such a bummer.
Episode 167. I've done 167 of them, and that was the one I didn't record.
No.
I know that's just how my week went last week.
Oh no.
Anyway, hey everybody, it's Monday, and there's Pam, there's Rikki, and we're getting ready to record a podcast. And we need your
Yes, we
today.
are.
So
There we are.
we are. Oh, Trisha's down in Walt Disney World. She's at Epcot. Happy retirement to Trisha's parents. They were celebrating yesterday at Chef Mickey's. I got a cool picture last night.
That's cool.
With Goofy. That was awesome. And Goofy did not have a chainsaw yet, but he's getting ready. But he's getting ready. I've talked to him.
Yeah, he is.
He is totally getting ready.
And he is totally getting ready for the season. He's going to come out here soon.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Hello? Okay, we're on. I can't wait.
Jen Hancock, look, I'm wearing my scarf from Muppet Studio.
Woo-hoo.
Manamana.
Ba-ba-da-da-da.
Yes.
Happy Monday to Lane. What's going on, Lane? All right, so we're gonna get down to business because this Taco
And
Bell
defeat the Huns?
eat itself.
No, Mike wouldn't even know what that meant
Yes.
because he's never seen movies.
No, I've seen it on the ship though, where they have the sticks and they do the song.
Yes.
Donny Osmond.
Donny
Yes, it was
Osmond.
Donny Osmond.
I do like that
His-
that number on the song. I feel like a Love Boat. We should do a number.
Oh my god.
'Cause
His
I
son
watched
was
the
on
one the
Claim to
other day.
Fame. I enjoyed watching him on that.
So I was watching Love Boat the other day, and it was Betty White and who was the other? Carol Channing, I think. And they kept asking them to do a number, like in the Acapulco Lounge.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. I love that channel.
Carol Channing.
Yeah, they're like, would you do a number during this cruise? And it's so funny because like they just call people up, like, and everybody's all happy. Like, you know, like you couldn't just like in the middle of Evolution on a cruise, like,
Right.
hey, DJ, stop DJing. We're gonna have just two random passengers.
Two randos.
Two randos come up on stage and perform a number that they've
Great.
never prepared for before.
That'd be awesome.
You know that people would do it.
Oh,
Probably, yeah.
call me up, dude. I'd do a set. Let's go. Hey,
What are
what's
you
up?
doing? Are you singing or what?
I think I do a comedy routine.
You're doing comedy.
I just start calling people out in the audience.
That's
Yeah, there you go.
that's not where I thought this was gonna go. I did not think he would say comedy.
I'm liking this. This is awesome. I want to be on this ship, this cruise when this happens.
Well, the next podcast cruise 7 will have to happen. Wait, what a game Saturday we lost. She must be speaking about another team, Jennifer. I mean, it was a heck of a game. I was screaming my head off, and I had a migraine all weekend.
Oh, Pam, I'm sad for you. Sugar Ray's at Epcot right now.
I know, right?
You're not there, giving
not
Mark McGrath high fives, and
Roll
I'm very
Tide.
sad for you now.
I know, right?
Also, I'm super happy for Mike Bankhead because apparently Clemson's coming to the SEC. So welcome in, brother.
Well, there you go.
Clemson is definitely an SEC team, so I'm glad they'll be in with us. I love that I can welcome in another school to the SEC. What? We won't be the new team. They're more SEC than we are. I can't pretend that they're not. They're in the South. We're not. But I tell people we're in the South because SEC. Like we're an SEC country. Like you're not, but whatever we are. We're better than Arkansas, so we're gonna beat Kentucky. Okay, we need to do this. We got a Halloween question to start, so we're on point here.
Okie dokie.
We have a question.
Let's do it.
You've been doing that forever. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I gotta tell Mike Bankhead this. I promise I will start. I've never been a Clemson fan. I don't like Clemson fans are the nicest people ever. Like I listen to a couple podcasts that have Clemson, like rabid Clemson fans. Nicest people. I've never met them, but they're nice on the air. Like I mean, I'm sure there's mean Clemson fans. Even your mascot looks nice. I mean, I don't know what his name is. I mean, he looks lovable. I mean, like our Truman's lovable, our guy. I don't know. Clemson, like Dabo seems nice. I want my kid to play for Dabo. He sprints down the hill. He gives 100% every time coming into the stadium. You guys rub the rock. I mean, it looks awesome. Nothing wrong with Clemson. I won't even hate you when we play you. Now, Vols. Oh, Tennessee. We're going to beat you November 11th. I'm skipping cheer trivia for that night. My mom and my wife's in charge of it. My wife's in charge of cheerleader trivia fundraising, and I'm taking my daughter to the game. She's supposed to be working trivia. It's going to be ugly. Okay. Yes, we all can gang up against Carolina. I agree. The chickens. Okay. SEC talk done. Here we go. I should probably put up the recording software. Okay. Here we go. 2, 3, 6, 9. Man, it's a long podcast. Here we go. Welcome to episode 2369 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope your week is going well. We're so glad you're here. We're going to be answering your listener questions over the next 40 minutes or so. So sit back, relax, just like you're on the Love Boat, which I was watching earlier today. And we're talking about in the pre-show, how awesome would it be if you're on your next Disney cruise, you're down in Evolution or the Tube or, whatever the adult area is on your ship. Pam, what was it on the Wish? I forget. I can't remember the name of the club because it's not in the back bottom of the ship.
Luna.
Yeah, it is Luna. Yeah.
You're there. And all of a sudden, they just call out a random guest like, hey, would you please do a number for us? Oh, sure. I'm ready. I have my number prepared. That'd be awesome. But, we can all dream. But today, we've prepared our number. And our number is to answer your listener questions. So joining me today, it's a terrible intro, but that's what we do after 2,369 shows. We have Rikki from the mouseforless.com. What's up, Rikki? Happy Wednesday.
I don't even know what to say about any of this. So
you don't watch the Love Boat channel?
No, I don't watch the Love Boat channel. I've actually never seen a single episode of the Love Boat, and I don't plan.
It's a free app.
I have we have a channel that airs on my satellite dish that has me TV on it. I still don't watch the Love Boat. It's just not going to happen. So
it's so good.
Oh no,
Captain Stubing, seriously, one of the top 5 greatest Americans of all time.
Okay,
for sure.
Sure, whatever you say, Mike.
Oh man, no, I mean, if they were going to chisel a 5th American out of Mount Rushmore, it'd be Captain Stubing.
No, I don't think that would be the case. So no.
I mean, you can pull off a sailor's uniform. Dude, he went around with those shorts. I mean, I don't think they could.
Single dad raising his daughter on a ship.
Exactly. I mean, raising a daughter on a ship. I mean, dude, I'm raising a daughter at that age, and it's about to kill me. I couldn't imagine being on a cruise ship. I'm doing it on land, and it's almost killing me. I mean, with a parent, with my wife. Seriously, I mean, he's driving a ship at the same time. I mean,
right.
I mean, they say it's a huge ship. It only holds 600. They talk about that all the time. I'm like, that's like a little boat at this point. But I mean, he's got to do with Gopher and Isaac. I mean, they all got all kinds of problems. Doc's hitting on everybody. It's insane.
The size of those cabins too. I'm
big as my house.
I'm surprised they can even get 600 people on that ship for as big as those staterooms are.
They have typewriters. Anyway, Rikki, you got to get on it.
Did I join the Love Boat podcast by mistake today? I don't understand what just happened.
I used to be a teacher. You're going to get a book report assigned to you shortly.
No, I'm not. I'm not doing it. I'm good. Thanks for the offer. I'm glad you enjoy Love Boat. I have other things to watch. So.
See, this is why I do every morning when I settle in. It's my comfort food for the soul.
My goodness.
I just put it on and start working in the office.
I have other things to watch. We're good. We're good.
Because you don't have to concentrate. It just soothes you.
Yeah, I get that. I have shows that I don't concentrate to as well. It's not the Love Boat. So
All right. Also joining us, my fellow Princess Cruise fan there, we have Pam Forrester, co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel. What's going on, Pam? Happy Wednesday.
It is this like Love Boat talk, truly.
I don't know what just happened here.
I
Okay.
know. I can't believe you've never seen it.
I've
Rikki.
never
It
seen
really
a
is,
single
like,
episode.
Well, here, let me
Television
here's,
gold.
here's the weird thing. Pam will probably appreciate this. I used to sit down and watch that like with my grandparents, like on Saturday nights when I was a kid. And now that I look back, I'm like, and I mean, my parents, like I grew up in a Baptist. I mean, my dad was a deacon. He still is. My grandpa was when he was alive. Like we were in a very conservative household. And I mean, I'm like, they let me watch that, you know.
Oh,
because it was
seriously,
over my head,
right?
you know. But I'm like,
Yes.
I mean, because it wasn't like blatantly, you know, like
Well,
wild.
it went over your head probably
yeah.
a lot.
Oh yeah, everything did. But I'm like, dude, some of that stuff was racy.
Well,
Oh,
there you go.
100. We did Love Boat followed by Fantasy Island, I think.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like both of those, I'm like, what was happening here? Like, this would have definitely had a warning at the beginning. I'm going
Got
to
it.
say. I'm like, I don't think it's going to say mature audiences, but there's going to be some.
It's a TV 14 for sure.
100%
Yeah.
TV 14 at least. Yes, there's going to be something. There's going to be certain situations that are going to be called out. There's going to be yes.
Oh my goodness,
For
that's
sure.
funny.
Oh, those were the days. Those were the days. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. All right, let's get to listener questions. We'll maybe we'll do a spin-off Love Boat podcast someday, but we'll see.
They can watch an episode with us.
Oh my god.
That's what we'll do. We'll like
Oh, we
all
should.
watch an episode together.
Dude, the best ones are the Christmas ones. They touch my
Oh.
heart. There's one
Of any show.
yes, but the Christmas Love Boats. Oh my gosh, there's one where oh man, he's a famous actor, and they go to this Mexican little orphanage, but the guy is like an angel, but then he turns into an angel on the Christmas tree. Like, dude, I cry every time I see it. They show it like once a week. I'm like, stop. Oh, anyway. I gotta find it. We should watch it right Christmas week. Like we should all watch it together, right? Because we could do it on here probably. Anyway, all right. Kevin's got a question. Hey, Mike and crew. I'm sorry, sidetrack.
We're almost done with the show. now.
Sidetracked. No, this was the only track. Got it. Perfect.
We'll see you later. Thanks for putting out pretty quality episodes every week. I apologize for
Was this quality? Because I don't know if it was.
I don't know if you're going to feel that way now, but
No.
awesome.
Yes. He says, my family and I used to be annual pass holders. However, we didn't renew in August of 22. I've been trying to talk my wife into purchasing APs again, but it hasn't really gone so well. But we're headed down the week of Halloween, and I'm hoping that all the feels and nostalgia will make her want to upgrade our tickets to APs. I have a few questions. Number one, in the past, Boardwalk has had trick-or-treat stations on Halloween night. Do you know if that's still happening? Rikki, any word?
No, I mean, no word on if that's going to happen or not. You won't know until you get to the resort. If I don't know where they're staying either, but if they do offer, the resorts do tend to offer like special things on special days, all the resorts, but it just depends, on the resort as well as the year and stuff like that of what they end up offering for guests. So there's no way to know like what the resort will actually be offering on Halloween. I know a lot of times they'll have characters come dressed up as, other characters, because they're dressed in their Halloween attire. But I don't know if they'll be doing any kind of trick-or-treating at, any of the resorts. And there's really no way to find out until you get there and you look at that, guide that they have. So
I agree. I mean, that's kind of how you look at it. And Pam, I mean, what I will say though, because we can't guarantee this could happen, but I will say like as an observation over, I would say post, 2020 parks reopening, but especially over the past probably 12 months, the resorts are offering a lot of kind of surprise and delight kind of experiences for guests, more than I've ever seen since I've been going to Walt Disney World. This could happen.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think too, like, even in like when we were, before 2020, this kind of information is not something that Disney like puts out like before. It's really kept very close to the vest. And I'm sure it will depend on, the cast members they have available and things like that. But you're right, Mike, like the characters showing up at the resorts, that was something that just didn't happen, or it did
Absolutely.
occasionally, maybe at a deluxe resort. But I've seen characters at all of the resorts, be it value resorts, moderate resorts now. So I think they're really infusing a lot of that, Disney magic at the resort when possible. So it's really nice to see. I'm glad to see Disney doing it, and it'll be interesting to see if it continues.
And here's the thing I'm observing too is that, I'm very fortunate. I get to work with a lot of guests at the Magic for Less. And because of the relationship that I have with my guests, which I'm very lucky, is that a lot of times when they come back, they'll shoot me an email and say, Mike, just got back. And they give me a few highlights. And sometimes they send me pictures. I feel like I'm like the Uncle Mike or something, and they let me know how it went. And I've seen this so many times. The highlight of many of these trips are a lot of times characters at the hotels. Like I'm seeing a trend. It's, of course I'm seeing pictures of the characters like, Anna and Elsa in Norway and so forth. And, ride photos, but I'm almost like a lot of times because the guests are surprised by this, they're not expecting to see a character at Coronado Springs or a character at Pop Century that just, comes around the corner, or an interaction I think we had this on Monday's podcast with a guest where they were, they had to kind of wait in the lobby for a while because that was their checkout day and they had a late afternoon or evening flight. So they're just kind of hanging out before they went to the airport, and bam, Chippendale pop out and start playing with the kids like randomly. And that was the memory that we talked about on the podcast. Like we could have talked about all kinds of stuff that happened for a week at Walt Disney World, and we spent 5 minutes about this core memory that was made because Chippendale popped out after the trip was basically over, hanging out in the lobby at Caribbean Beach. So I think
love that.
is great. I love it. So long story, it could happen. I mean, it'd be a great thing, and I think it's up. I think kind of looking at how these things happen. Scott and I talk about this a lot. I think it's probably up to the hotel managers how they spend their budget and how they want to. Allot their funds to better the resort itself.
Yep,
I think
that's
French
exactly
Quarter
right.
really does a good job with that. French Quarter seems to really nail like giving out like goodies on special holidays, like beads and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, number 2. Do you think crowds at the Magic Kingdom will be low on October 31st and or November 1st since there are Halloween parties these nights and the park closes early? Pam, would you go there on Halloween Day in November 1st, seeing how the parks will be sold out, guaranteed, those 2 nights for Mickey's Not So Scary?
I mean, I would go to a park, I think. I think that there will be a lot of guests there. Some will be attending the party and some will not. I think that there are lots of great things to do around the resort too. But I think I would go. If I were there, I wouldn't want to not be in the park, I think. So I think I would go. I don't know. What about you guys? Would you go?
Yeah, as long as I think if you have a park hopper, I would absolutely go to the Magic Kingdom, one of those 2 nights. I think that would be a no-brainer. Because then you could hop to another park, which probably would end up being Epcot, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, I think that I would go as well. It's a fun atmosphere, even if you're not going to the party. I mean, you get the pumpkins and stuff like that all on Main Street and everything. So it's a really fun atmosphere to experience. I think I would. Yeah, I think I would.
And my guests that are going, this season that have gone and come back and that have gone on days where there's parties, they've said it's a win. They're all like, yes, that was a good advice. Like, we went, there was a party that night and we got so much done. The only thing you're sacrificing is you're not in the park during the evening hours when it's dark and, you don't get that kind of atmosphere and stuff like that. But they're like, oh, the crowds were low. It was awesome. Like,
yeah,
people avoided it. So they got kind of the run of the park for, 75% of the time.
It is. And I think that's what we've seen lately. I don't know that used to be the case. I think, though, lately we've really seen that happening. And I love to be able to say to people, I would go that day. I mean, I really would. I wouldn't avoid it.
All right. Now we got a question here from Lane, who's tuned in live on YouTube as we record. And he says, quick 3-round draft. Maybe we probably won't do a 3-round draft, but he's asking about best walks on Disney World property. And I like this because you know what? Walt Disney World has some amazing places just to take a walk, especially Scott does this every morning, like the beginning of his trips. I mean, runs are the same thing. I mean, it's just basically a walk where you just double it up. You're just going a little faster, I guess. But I mean, if you don't just get up and just kind of just walk around, maybe grab a cup of coffee and walk with it, or take a podcast with you. You don't have to do that. You could disconnect. But I mean, there's so many great places just to walk around to kind of start your day. And I've always said this: Walt Disney World at sunrise is awesome. When you get to see the resort come alive any day, any of the 365 days of the year, it's incredible. Sees it. It's like a cruise, right? You got to see a sunrise on a cruise. You got to see it at Walt Disney World too. It's just cool to see the daybreak at Walt Disney World. So, Rikki, where's like an awesome place to take a walk on property?
I mean, I know that when we sometimes do walks, Brian and I will do the walk from like Epcot to Hollywood Studios. So, you know, because that's got, you can take many different paths. So you can go the boardwalk route, or you can go the route past, you know, the beach club and the yacht club. And then, you know, you walk around along the river, the waterway. And it's a great walk. And it's a pretty decent walk too. So you definitely are getting your steps in there, I feel like. So I think that's a great walk that you can take. Now, I don't love doing it in the middle of, you know, July in the summer, and in the middle of the afternoon, which I've done before, but it's not recommended on that. But you know, morning or evening, definitely a good time to take that walk.
Absolutely. I mean, my walks are always like before the sun comes up, you know, or, you know, right as sunrise. You hopefully kind of wrapping up as the sun kind of comes up. What about you, Pam? Where's your favorite kind of walk?
I do love the whole, you know, that boardwalk, that whole area. I think the boardwalk, yacht club, beach club is a great area. I also really like the walk between the Polynesian and the Grand Floridian, although that's not that long of a walk, but you can walk all the way to the Magic Kingdom at this point too, which I think is a great location too. But I think the other thing to note is there around Hourglass Lake, especially now that the Skyliner is there, that's gorgeous, like really gorgeous. And if you're up early enough, the Skyliner isn't even running, so it's like that whole area is sort of very glassy. You know, it's just so still that area looks beautiful, but it's stunningly beautiful. So,
and I will say, and I mean, I don't know why I only see them there, because I mean, it's a big sky, and it's not like it's just Pop Century and Art of Animation sky. It's kind of all Central Florida sky. But about 50% of the time when I run Hourglass Lake over there, I see hot air balloons in the morning. Like,
that's funny, yeah.
There, but I don't see them anywhere else. And I mean, it's like they're not just over there, but yeah, I guess maybe it's because, you know, it's more open. Because you're right at the edge of property right there, really, because you're right next to I-4.
Yeah.
Right, you know, so you're probably like looking out where there's no obstructions. But I tend to, if you're right at, because I think that's when they take the balloons up, it's right at daybreak. And it's really pretty. Because like you say, I mean, you get to see the sunrise really well, some hot air balloons, because you don't want to see a whole lot of hot air balloons around here. So that's kind of a novel thing. That's kind of cool. So my one I would suggest at daybreak is just to walk around Riverside and French Quarter, boom, right along the Sassagoula River. When you get to walk along that river, before that, there's always a first boat that comes down from, usually it comes down from the springs towards Riverside, and it'll break the river. So before that boat goes, and I know because I've seen this many times, because where I run when I stay every morning, and that water is just like a sheet of glass, and it is so awesome for pictures, because, you know, as that sun's coming up, you get this great reflection of everything. And it is just because I love just taking pictures everywhere. And, you know, you got all those great colors at French Quarter, because when you go to French Quarter and you're walking from Riverside, you get really good shots of those buildings. And the French Quarter buildings are just a bunch. They're so colorful, right? Because it's like a random color palette. You know, like the doors don't have any kind of pattern to them. You know, they're all just randomly. I guess that's how they are in New Orleans. I've never been there. but it's, you know, it's beautiful in like a really random kind of, you know, way. It's got its own beauty there with the wrought iron and everything, and the fountains and everything. But then you got this glassy river and the lanterns right there still in effect, because, you know, it's just daybreak. That path kind of like gives it some direction in your picture. And then of course you got the mansions, and of course I'm a fan of Spanish moss down in Alligator Bayou at Riverside. So it's kind of spooky right before it. We talked about that before the sun breaks down there. So I love walking around Riverside and French Quarter. It's a good question. Great. That's fun. Okay, we got a question here from, and also Len said Crescent Lake, so he agreed with Pam. Michelle says headed down to the world tomorrow.
Yay!
Fun. Best way to do Mickey's not so scary Halloween party if it rains. I need Mike's no rain vibes. Okay, hang on. I gotta give her a dance. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Dance. You know, they say dance in the rain.
Yeah.
There you go. Weather channel. And I got my phone on Do Not Disturb, and it's on this new charger thing. So I haven't checked the forecast. But Rikki, you've been there. I remember from way back in the day. You did a Mickey's Not So Scary. You were super excited for it, and it poured.
It was one of the first
ones. Time ago.
Yeah, it was a very long time ago. And yeah, it sure did pour. It poured so much that, and this can or can't happen. Like, you know, it depends on how bad it pours. But when I went, it poured so bad that they actually gave us tickets to come back to another party. Yeah. So like, that's how bad it was that night. That's not something that they tend to offer, you know, all the time, most of the time. But it was definitely one of those like complete rain out parties. They did still do one of the parades, I think, and I got to see the fireworks, but like I'm standing in the rain with an umbrella, you know, stuff like that. So make sure you have an umbrella and a poncho. Those are going to be two very big key things to do.
Yeah, so real quick, your umbrella, I'm kind of poncho because I don't like to carry it, but
yeah, no, I don't like the sticky feeling of poncho.
No,
I'm not.
It's your little personal sauna.
Exactly. It's not okay to me. I'd rather be somewhat wet and then be in a sauna. It's not okay. So yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna go with that. They will, a lot of times they will still offer, you know, the parade. It might be a modified version of the parade, so you may not see, you know, everything. They may not do the, you know, the Headless Horseman, that kind of stuff. It just kind of depends. They will, I've heard they have a modified version of the Hocus Pocus show as well. So if it does rain, I mean, you still get to see the show, but it might be modified. And then they usually still do the fireworks, even in the rain, unless there's like lightning and stuff like that. They may have delays of stuff, but they, you know, will still tend to do that. So, you know, just go put your poncho or umbrella up and on and go have fun, you know, splash around in the rain, get candy. You know, it's still a good time. You're just a little, you know, wet. Bring rain galoshes.
She has both packs. She got her ponchos packed. She's got an umbrella. I mean, that's really all you can do, you know. And the thing is, don't stress about it because you can't control the weather.
Exactly.
That's best advice. I know that doesn't really help, but I mean, really, it's a mindset thing. And I would say, you know, the rain's going to draw the crowds away, but I mean, everybody's paid for that ticket. They're going, you know,
that's true. Yeah. They may leave early though. So if you can end up staying the rest of the whole night, like you might have a really empty kind of experience by the end of the night for sure.
That's a good point. That's a good point. If you can, you know, like stay dry as long as you can, because like
usually I think
stop raining at like 10 and then you could have 2 hours of like dry.
A lot of people leave after the fireworks in those instances. So if you can, you know, hang out, you know, after that, you're probably golden.
I don't know, Pam, what should you bring something maybe to keep your candy dry? Because I mean, I don't know what you would like. Maybe
that's like a wet dry bag or something.
Yeah,
that's cold. I mean, that's why you go. Yeah.
I agree, and I think it's just a matter of navigating. Like there are times in almost every rain where you have really heavy downpours and then something that's just sort of a light annoyance, and have like a plan for if it's really a downpour at certain times, because usually that downpour doesn't last that long. So if you could do like a, Tiki Birds, then run over to Pirates of the Caribbean and, sort of do something like that. That may be a good strategy. But yeah, like Rikki, I like the umbrella. I just think that that's just more comfortable for me. I totally understand not wanting to drag all that around, but it's just the way we sort of end up, doing it. And it is fun. And they're absolutely right. There will be guests who leave early or don't come, even though they paid for the ticket. I guarantee there are guests.
I cannot imagine
that. You need to realize.
Yes, there will definitely be guests who won't go. Yeah,
that is. I can't believe that.
It's true, though. It's definitely true. So yeah, there will be guests. So it probably will not be as heavily attended. So yeah, it's it's a challenge, I will say, at different times, especially when you plan for this and you want to do it, but just go and have a fun. Your attitude is what makes things like this. Like 90% of it is your attitude. I will be honest. And we've seen guests have horrible trips and they come back and tell us about them. And I just think to myself, oh, there's so much you could have done to turn this around, but you just didn't. And I empathize because I totally get, when you're planning a trip, it's very different. But I'm telling you, we've had fun in every kind of weather, even sleeting, freezing weather. So
we've been there.
You will too.
And remember, if you get caught in a downpour, I've said this a couple times on the show, like once you get to a certain point of wet, you're not getting any more wet.
Valid.
Embrace it with roll. I mean, you're not getting any more wet, so just go have fun with it. I mean, you're going to dry off eventually when you get back to the hotel. You might want to bring a second set of shoes or maybe even a second set of clothes. Toss it in a locker at the beginning of the party, and then you have something to. I know they're expensive, but I mean that way later on you have something to swap out if you want to.
Yeah,
I mean, I probably wouldn't do it, but I mean it's something to think about. And Len says a good real time weather app. Used to be Dark Sky. That's now integrated into the Apple built-in weather app that'll give you like it's going to rain because it's very hyper local. So it'll say like if you're in the Magic Kingdom, it should start raining here in like 7 minutes. I mean,
I'd like to see something with the radar because I do not trust.
I don't trust.
I want to see with my own eyes.
Yep.
I paid like $25 for like this radar app that they use. Our guy on TV uses it in St. Louis, like our Ken Earhart guy. And I'm so whenever we're at like a sporting event or anything, everybody turns to me like I'm the meteorologist, right? Like, oh yeah, this thing's it's gonna nick us, man. We're gonna get nicked. Okay, so be ready. I've approximately 12 minutes. Like I'm the National Weather Service, like sitting in the stands. So yeah,
this is what I need. We have trust issues. So.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Crocs be good. I mean, if you want,
Crocs,
choice. Okay. All right. No, I wear Crocs too. Carrie's got a question. Been listening to your podcast for a while and really enjoy the show. Love the back and forth between everyone and living with 3 boys and a basketball coach husband. The sports references help to make my Disney obsession tolerable for the rest of the family. See, look at that. She likes little sports talk. And God bless her. She's got 3 boys and a basketball coach. That's pretty good. I have a quick question about the Fantasmic dining packages. I'm taking my 2 children to Disney and was only able to get a 2-person reservation at Sci-Fi with the dining package. I know for typical ADRs, adding an extra person when we get there is usually okay. However, 2 of the 3 people are small children and we can fit into 1 car. So it shouldn't change the reservation that much. Just wanted to see if you think they would be able to give me 3 Fantasmic tickets instead of 2. And it would just show up with the 3rd person. In the meantime, I'm searching for a 3-person ADR with Fantasmic, but have been coming up short. Appreciate your thoughts. Thanks, Carrie. I just want to get that out there because I think this is going to be bad news.
I think it's going to be bad news too. Yeah. So a normal dining reservation, a lot of times you can potentially fudge it a little bit. I mean, I've gone and I've added people, I've subtracted people just based on, when I get there and I'm like, oh no. So with a normal one, sometimes they can work with you. With a Fantasmic dining package though, they have a set number of packages that they sell every single night. So I don't think they're going to be able to add any additional people to your reservation. and you're not going to be able to get that dining package for that third person. So I would either cancel the reservation or dine there by yourself and enjoy the meal, but not have the preferred seating for, Phantasmic. Or like you're doing, just keep looking, because I think that that's gonna, you never know what'll pop up, because that's kind of nice too. Even day of, you might find something pop up, because I've seen that happen before too, where I'm looking in the app, going, where do I want to eat for dinner tonight? And then I'll see something like, a Phantasmic dining package pop up for me. And I'm like, I mean, I didn't take it, but it's just one of those things where you never know. It could pop up the day of too, but I don't think you're going to be able to add that third person. So.
Actually, I think the guest we had on Monday got a Phantasmic dining package day of.
Yeah.
So don't give up. But I wanted to get this in there because I just don't, this is not going to work. I mean, 99%, this is not happening. So I just want to make sure, and I'm not trying to disappoint you, but I just don't want anybody to get to that point thinking that it would work.
Exactly.
And be disappointed there. It's better to have the information ahead of time before you go down and have the, just be ready to have to make alternate plans. Now's the time to know, no, this is not going to work. So
correct.
We can hopefully fix that. So, and let's see, William saying he's gotten Candlelight Processional.
You never know. I mean, like I said, it can happen day of. But again, that's something you can't count on either. So you never know. So, I just keep looking and see if you can find something, but I wouldn't count on them being able to add that third person, because I just don't see that happening.
Let me just say real quick, I love our live chat that comes and hangs out with us as we record, because you guys do add so much to our podcast, because when we can do this show and have you there adding a next layer of information, kind of giving us better answers and more thorough answers, and just you guys are the best. So I appreciate everybody that hangs out with us as we record. Facebook, YouTube, all the places. You guys are the best. So thank you for being here. All right, Laura's got a question. If we were to stay a night at a resort with the extended evening hours benefit and then move to another resort, would we get that benefit on our move day? For example, if we stay at a deluxe on a Sunday night, could we take advantage of the extended hours at Epcot on a Monday night if we're staying at Pop Century on Monday night? Does it make a difference if we've completed check-in or not? Thanks, Laura. I get this question all the time. Pam, can you explain that?
Yes, I will try, but I will tell you there are some challenges. So I'll just give you that. So actually, you are entitled to those benefits on your checkout day. At the deluxe resort. If you were staying at a deluxe resort, even though you're moving to the value resort, you are entitled to the benefit that evening. The challenge really is that they're going to look at your Magic Mobile account or whatever, your Magic Band or whatever they're going to scan in to access your My Disney Experience account. That's going to show the hotel that you're in right then. So that's going to be the challenge for you, is somehow explaining and whatnot. It just is. I will tell you, as a very frequent resort hopper, yes. I do it often. I do it all the time. I mean, I don't think there's a trip where I'm at one resort the whole time. Right. And I really do that so that we can have updated information, photos, videos, whatnot. I'm a giver, so it's all about that.
Yes.
Thanks for taking one for the team, Pam. We appreciate that.
I know.
Way to go, Pam. Way to go.
No, I can't. But it is a challenge. That's the challenging part. And what you may be able to do is show them that you did check out of whatnot, but it is a challenge. It is a challenge. And the thing I would do if I were you is I would visit the concierge desk of your deluxe hotel and see if they can help you out with that. And maybe that will happen.
Diane's offering actually, this is a pretty solid solution. You can take a screenshot of the previous day's reservation and just show them, like, I mean, it can't hurt,
They have been, though, interesting about that. So I will tell you, I went to park at somewhere. We were having breakfast there. And I said, we have a breakfast reservation at so-and-so. And they're like, let me see it. And I actually had taken a screenshot because how right there in the moment, you're like trying to pull stuff up, not pulling up whatever. Yeah. And the guy actually said to me, no, I need to see it live in your app. I need to be able to touch it and see it.
Because
And I was like,
why? Because people are probably making them up, right? People
are making them and canceling them.
It's one bad egg.
Yep.
Screwing everybody up because they're doing stuff like this. That stuff drives
100%.
It's not Disney's fault.
No.
But I mean, like, common sense should rule the day. What Diane's suggesting here should work, but I get why, because a few bad eggs are making it impossible for common sense to rule the day.
Yes, it does. I know. And people are always trying to avoid the parking fee of all things. You would think that most of the time these are annual pass holders anyways. If you have that much finesse that then it's whatever. I'm just,
I'm getting mad in my old days because because the thing is, like, seriously, come on, like, there's rules there, and the thing is, like, I understand why it has to be live, but the whole thing is, you just nailed it. Like, I guarantee you that Wi-Fi is going to be sketchy, or your cell connection isn't going to work right.
Yes,
there's going to be 7 cars behind you. It's gonna be like the Drew Brees commercial for Sports Center where he's trying to get the big old thing with the goalpost through the thing in Bristol. It's exactly what's gonna happen. Like, I get anxiety just thinking about that. Like, I'm trying to be proactive. I mean, they even tell you, like, when we go to the Mizzou games, right? They're like, put your tickets in your wallet so you don't have to rely, with your Ticketmaster account on like Wi-Fi or cell connections. Like, so they're not live, they're in your wallet, your Apple wallet.
I know, but sometimes even the wallet doesn't work right. Like, you're like, oh my gosh, I touched this and now this is up. I need to get back. It's like, I know it is sad and true. So I just want Disney to be able to help you. And so my best advice is to deal with concierge and see what their advice is. Because I'm telling you, I don't have the right thing because I think I got it all figured out. And I'm like, here's my deal. And then they're like, oh no, girl, you need one more piece of information. And I'm like, okay, forget it. And I'm not even trying to cheat any system. I'm legit trying to do it the way I'm supposed to.
Like,
can you imagine if we were trying to cheat the system?
Yeah, I can give you the names of 3 people that I probably know are cheating the system if I can get in, because I'm not. I'm on Disney Twitter. I can give you 3 suspects right now.
Right, exactly. I can tell you who's trying to cheat the system.
I know, right? I know. It's so bad. And then I walk away and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad because they think I'm making this up and I'm not. And Steve's like, would you just let this go? Like, they're not even thinking about you after you leave. And I'm like, but I don't want anyone to think
I don't want them to think I am. Yeah, exactly.
Immediately they let you through and your picture's hanging on the wall.
100%. This is what I'm picturing.
Most wanted.
Not only that, but I'm like, dishonor on your podcast, dishonor on your travel agency. Like, there's going to be articles and all.
Exactly. They're going to write stories about you.
Exactly. I'm like, we've all seen them. I don't want to be that girl.
We have seen them. Trust me. We have.
I'm trying to do things the right way here.
But no, this used to happen to me all the time. Like when I had a dining plan, right? And I'd do a split stay because I'd be like, oh,
yes,
because I would check in early into the second resort and they're like, out on the dining plan. I'm like, well, I still am till midnight,
right? Exactly,
midnight. Like, no, sir. I'm like, yes, sir.
Yes, I am. I promise you, I am.
I promise. That's how this works. I know. But anyway. All right. How about last question today? This is an easier one that's not going to get me so fired up.
Good.
Yeah, please don't get us kicked out of anything.
It's almost 2024, people. How about in 2024, we just all play by the rules? Like,
well, that's not going to happen.
Why do we got to break the rules? Like, it hurts us all. Like, the thing is, like, I can't lie. Like, like people are like, it's just a little white lie, like the guard shack, like you go to the guard shack and like, I can't do it. Like, I feel like they would, like, if I tell the lie, the gate's going to come slamming down in front of the car, behind the car, the SWAT team's going to come out. Like, I'm just like, I can't, cause I just feel like I'd be told, like, I'd just be ratted out immediately. Like, they would know. So can't we just all tell the truth so we're on a fair playing field? So we can just all like agree and just play by the same set of rules in 24. Oh,
I like it.
Man. Anyway, all right, Tracy's got an easy question. Thank you, Tracy.
Yay.
Hey, Mike, love your show so much, and the four of you bring me so much joy when I listen.
Sure. Are we sure we do?
I don't know. Each of you bring a fun and unique perspective. That is very kind of Tracy to say that. She says, do you know if guests of the Wilderness Lodge can use the 0 entry pool at Boulder Ridge? Thank you so much. Keep up the great work. Tracy, Pam, can we?
Yes, they can. And it's a great pool too. It really is. It's a little quieter. There isn't, we always call it the Disney disco, the Disney afternoon DJ dance party, like they rolls out. And I know lots of people love that because their kids are entertained, and I totally get it. But this one doesn't usually have that. So that's kind of a bonus for me. But anyways, yeah, you can go over there and check it out. And that's the beauty of staying at some of these locations that have a couple pools. What's funny is when you think about it, all of the value resorts have a couple pools at each of them, but not all of the other resorts do. So if you're looking for some pool time, go and enjoy. But yeah, enjoy that pool, my little quiet oasis, I say.
That is a great pool. And actually I want to say I was down there that was that trip I was down there in August of 20, like during like the heart of COVID, right after the parks had just reopened. And I think the Magic Kingdom closed at 6. It was like 5:30 or so. It was still light outside. We had the last ADR at Liberty Tree, and like we took our time leaving. We got some amazing pictures. We're the last ones out of the Magic Kingdom. And Scott was staying at Wilderness Lodge or Boulder Ridge or something. And I think they closed the main pool, but they left that one open over at Boulder Ridge. And we had just an awesome night swimming over there. Like it was just, that is a great pool, actually.
It is. It really is.
A water tower or something, doesn't it? Like a feature kind of thing. It's got like looks like kind of like Riverside's pool.
Yeah, it is like it's a little like waterfall-esque. I don't want to describe it as a waterfall because it's sort of a water trickle, but it is really, it's pretty. And I love that they have the Wilderness Lodge music playing there because I think, right, that music there, I think as much as any of the resorts. Yeah.
Yes.
So good. So
Two
good.
Socks. Oh my gosh, I love that movie. Ricky, do you like Dances with Wolves? I'm asking you a movie question right now.
I've never seen that movie, right?
Oh, dude, I've seen a movie Ricky hasn't seen. Dances with Wolves is so good.
Yeah, I've never seen that movie.
Oh, Pam, have you seen it? You're kind of looking like you haven't seen it.
So
you don't like it.
Yeah.
Are you ready? There's a story.
Oh no. Okay, well, we got a couple minutes, so let's dig in here. Dances with Pam.
This is not putting me in the best light, but I'll share it with my podcast friends here. Okay. So when this movie had come out, or at some point, Steve says, "Oh, Dances with Wolves, it's such a fantastic movie. We've got to see that." And there are certain styles of movies that I have to be in the mood for, right? Like he loves like war movies and things like that. He loves Saving Private Ryan, right, and all that. And I have to be in the mood for it. And at certain times I am. Like I enjoy it. Like it's Saving Private Ryan is a spectacular story, but I have to be in the mood with it. And I knew Dances with Wolves was going to be one of those things. I wanted to be in the mood for it. Well, he kept bugging me and bugging me and bugging me about seeing Dances with Wolves. And at one point I'm like, oh, you need to stop with the Dances with Wolves thing, like really and truly. And he did not. So there was a little, he dug in his heels. There's a little, I dug in my heels. And finally I'm like, you know what? I don't want to see Dances with Wolves tonight. And I actually don't want to see it ever now because like I'm done. So we always call it like that this is like a Dances with Wolves kind of moment. He's I'm not trying to have this be all Dances with Wolves. Like if he's bugging me and bugging me and bugging me about something, like so this is our ongoing joke. And to this day, I still have not seen Dances with
Wolves. Got it. I love it.
I want to mark it down. I have seen a movie that neither one of you have seen.
Right. Yeah. You looked up Steve on for your Dances Dances
Yes,
with Wolves
you will
song.
definitely have that, Steve. Yeah.
I've seen it many times over. And because it's such an interesting story of the history of the Lakota Sioux. Like, it's a tragic story. It's a terrible story. But also the cinematography, like just to imagine what our country looked like back then. Because and also those buffalo, the Tatanka. The buffalo. See, you guys haven't seen it, so you don't even get my movie. Tatanka. I'm doing Tatanka. Tatanka is the Lakota Sioux name for buffalo. They were from a place right here in St. Louis, out by Six Flags, the Lone Elk Park. They got some of the buffalo from there that they used in the filming of the movie. So right there, connect, because we have this buffalo reserve right near our house. Rikki, you probably didn't even know that.
I had no idea there was a buffalo reserve anywhere.
You've never been to Lone Elk Park?
No.
You drive through, there's buffalo and moose. You can I go through in my Jeep sometimes. And
I've been past Jellystone National Park.
No, before that. It's before you get to Six Flags off 44.
Oh my gosh.
Right off of 109. Anyway, we got to get out of here. So that's
this took a turn
with BOGP today. So there we go. All right. We are going to be back on Friday's show, and we are going to do a show where we become the CEO of the Disney company for a day, and we get to make 3 changes. This is a suggestion by listener Chris, and we appreciate it so much. We can make an instant low-cost change. Right there, we're in the parks, just walking around the parks for the day, checking out everything going on. Real quick thing. We're going to do that. We're going to make a moderate change to the parks. This is all about the theme parks. And then 1 blockbuster change to the parks. What would we do as CEO to improve our experiences in the theme parks? So Friday, here are suggestions with that. And then we'll talk about that on Sunday night's live show. Scott's going to not be there because he's going to be on a jet plane out west, way west, headed to Hawaii.
Nice.
I'm going to be there, so I'm going to need you to call in on Sunday night at 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central. We didn't have the show this last Sunday night. Mallory had cheer, so we're going to have a good time together, me and you. Lots of questions, lots of Disney talk. We'll continue the show with you on Sunday night. So be there, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We'll have a good time on that. And always, don't forget, these podcasts brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. So come on over. We'd love to help you plan your next getaway, whether it's down to Walt Disney World, out to Disneyland, sailing with the Disney Cruise Line, or seeing the world with Adventures by Disney. We're going to give you first-class service every time at no additional cost to you. So check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. I believe this week is Prime Days. So if you're going to take advantage of that, help us out at the same time. Just click through the link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our patrons who support us each and every month, $5 a month for all these shows. We think that is a pretty good deal, and you get a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. So coming over this week, we'd love to have your support. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Give Rikki a follow on social media at Rikki Nibs, RIKKI and IBS. Pam's at TMFLT Pam, and I'm at BeOurGuest Mike. Twitter/X, Instagram, and Threads. We'll see you over there. All right, we're going to jump out of here. Tomorrow on the feed, you're going to get hour 2.5-ish of the 6-hour live show from Give Kids the World. So stay tuned for that. That was fun. I mean, it was kind of, I tried to explain it in the summary. It was just all over the place. It was like BOGP unplugged. We talked about all kinds of stuff. So we hung out, we talked about stuff that we were auctioning off. We talked about just current events happening because D23 had just announced some changes to the theme parks. We talked about that. We just had a good time talking about all kinds of stuff. So if you enjoy the show, I think you're going to really enjoy tomorrow's podcast on the feed. So grab that and enjoy that until Friday. All right, we'll be back again on Friday with a great show. So until then, have a great Wednesday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. All right, let me say that bad boy. But that was a wild one.
I shared my dances with
started with Love Boat and ended with 2 socks.
All right.
We literally do say that. Steve's like, I'm not going to ask you again. I don't want to dances with wolves.
That's fantastic.
2 points for Steve.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You see what he has to put up with.
I'll have to tell Brian that story because we had a conversation about Steve this weekend, actually.
Oh, no.
It was good. It was good. It was something about him being the perfect husband, and there had to be something that annoyed you about him or something like that. I think
yes.
And I was like, yeah, there's got to be something. You know, he may be the perfect husband, but
I don't think my wife's seen Dances with Wolves. Now I think about it.
Don't Dances with Wolves it.
Don't.
Yes, because like every time I watch it, she just walks out.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a commitment. It's long, and like now that I've seen it a bunch of times, like I don't watch the whole thing. I just like watch for a little bit and then walk out.
It just was. I knew it was a longer movie, and I knew
Yeah.
it was going to be emotional.
I'm not
But I'm
about the
watching
emotional
something-
movies. Like if it's emotional, I'm out. Like I'm not about crying in a movie. It's not
Oh,
okay.
it's sad when you think about.
I will be right back. Let me run out real quick.
I know. It's like sometimes I just want to be entertained.
Oh, I'm
Not-
usually like that, but then I saw it and I'm like, oh man. Because I think somebody made me watch it like one time, and I'm like, dang, dude, this is heavy. Yeah, I've never seen like Saving Private Ryan or any of those. I've never seen Band of Brothers, anything like
It's
that.
really, I mean,
don't like
Saving Private Ryan is fantastic. It's just the first few minutes of it are incredibly hard.
See, I can't watch like gory stuff either.
It's not, I don't find it to be, I don't know if it's gory or not, but it's just emotional. Like it's truly, I think that you can't put things in perspective until you see something like that. So. Oh.
Tomorrow is my dad's 70th birthday.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. He turned 70. I turned 50.
Big years.
Scott turns 40. Yep. This is a big year. Pam turned 50. Taylor Swift was not at the Chiefs game yesterday. World-shaking news.
Okay, I'm back.
Ready? Happy birthday. Man. We're all turning 50.
I'm
All
back.
right. Whatever. All right. So we are on 2371. Let's see here. 44-1, and we can start. Okay, here we go. Welcome to episode 2371 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rahman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're getting ready for a great fall weekend. You have some apple cider, apple pie, pumpkin spice latte, and maybe a date with the rake this weekend. Hopefully not the rake. You don't want to have to do that. But if you do, have the kids jump in that pile of leaves. That's what the fall is all about, unless they have allergies like me, because then I'd be like, when you'd have to get the Benadryl out, it'd be a big old mess. But I mean, I'm a weirdo, so that's the story of my life. I can't do any of the cool stuff that like Charlie Brown kids do in the cartoons. It just doesn't work out. It kind of stinks. But hey, have a great fall weekend. We're gonna get you there. We're gonna have some fun Disney talk today. Play right along with us. We're going to play Disney CEO for a day. Thanks to listener Chris. Chris, thanks for the suggestion. If you ever have any suggestions for shows, reach out on the social media at BeOurGuestMike or drop me a line, Mike at BeOurGuestPodcast.com. And coincidentally, you can reach all four of us by our first names at BeOurGuestPodcast.com. So you can do that anytime. Even Scott, I finally got him hooked up last week. I was like, dude, I totally forgot to get you an email address. But he has one now. And it's not even hashtag. It's just Scott at BeOurGuestPodcast.com. All right. Joining us today, we have Rikki from the mouseforless.com. Rikki, what is going on this weekend down in the ATL?
Well, I feel like I failed because I did my fall stuff last weekend.
I saw that.
So yeah, we took Lucy apple picking, which was so much fun. So she went on her first hayride. Well, it wasn't really a hayride, but it was a wagon ride. And we went out and we picked apples and she had a really good time. So that was good. And yeah, it was kind of interesting because I had literally done that the same weekend a year ago when I was pregnant with her. So it was just a lot of fun to get to redo the year later. So but yeah, I have no idea what this weekend will hold then, since we've already done our fall activity for the year. I still do need to figure out what I'm gonna have her dress up for as Halloween. So probably need to go Halloween costume shopping for her this weekend. But yeah, otherwise I'm not really sure what we're gonna do. So we'll figure something out, I'm sure.
First Halloween, let me just give you suggestions. Easy, because I remember this. Pumpkin or Minnie Mouse.
I mean, yeah, those are kind of like the two that I've seen the most of is like Pumpkin or Minnie Mouse. Yeah. So, but we'll see what I end up going with. So
I think Mallory was Snow White, like when she was 2.
Cute.
She was little.
Love it. Yeah.
Pretty easy stuff. I mean, like when they're little, you just buy the thing, throw it on.
Right. I mean, I get that. Yeah.
They don't like fight back. Now, when they get to be like 4, then it becomes like, oh my gosh, it's like you got like 3 costumes because they change your mind constantly.
Yes, I kind of joked though because so a couple years ago we usually buy Daisy a Halloween costume too, and so a couple years ago we had bought Daisy a Ghostbusters costume, and so I've kind of joked around with the idea of dressing her as the Stay Puft Marshmallow. So that we could take her out as the Stay Puft Marshmallow and take Daisy with us, and she'd be the Ghostbuster. And but
that's kind of what babies are for a while.
Yeah, exactly. Like Stay Puft Marshmallow.
Like, I mean, it's under a year, they're just like props.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. Oh no, she's getting mobile. Trust me, she's starting to move around.
They're gonna get you all kinds of candy as you go because they're cute.
I'm gonna get the candy, not her.
Well, exactly. I'm saying they're basically asking for you to get a ton of candy. Like
exactly.
That's the Reese's kid. Let's go.
I know. Need to find a better neighborhood. My neighborhood doesn't hand out a lot of candy.
You're not doing it right. Get in the car and go where the big houses are. Right?
I know, right?
That's how we used to do in Flowtown. You know how it is.
Yep.
All right. Also joining us, we have the coder of the Magic for Less Travel, Pam Forrester. Pam, how's fall in Western PA this year?
It's actually really pretty where the leaves are starting to change. We can sort of look out, our back windows and see, so we can see a farm from like our sliding glass door, and beyond the farm are like all the trees and stuff. And it's so pretty to see what's happening there, just like in the distance. And we're really fortunate that the drive that we make to and from our house is just this road that's like in the middle of nowhere. It's lined with all these beautiful trees. So I will say fall is a good thing. I am all about the pumpkin everything. I'm here for it. I understand that some people get upset about pumpkin. I'm not quite sure why. It's a lovely product there.
I like it. I just don't like it when it's like overly fake pumpkin flavor. Like I feel like a lot of times you get that problem now because everybody's like pumpkin spice this, and I'm like, I like pumpkin. I like pumpkin spice flavors. I don't love like the fake pumpkin spice flavor, which I feel like you get a lot of like in
lattes. I get that. I like that pumpkin flavor. I really always have. So I don't think there has to be like pumpkin spice Cheetos or anything like that.
No, definitely don't want pumpkin spice Cheetos.
A little pumpkin spice in my coffee, I'm all good with that. So but it's fun. Like fall is fun. You get to sort of change back into like sweaters and boots, and like that's more fun anyway. So
yeah, we had our first like cold football game last Friday.
Yeah, that's fun.
It was fun. Like, but this game was like out, and like the wind was howling. I mean, it was cold. Like I was like, I thought this was gonna be fun. Like it was like, oh yeah, we get to wear it because for my birthday last year, the girls got me like men's UGG boots, which are because I had never had these things, right? The greatest invention. And I mean, they're kind of, because like the girls had always had UGG boots, right? I mean, Paige had them, Mallory had them, Pam had them. So like, there was an UGG store at Disney Springs. I think it went out of business. But so I'm like, dude, that's a girls thing. I didn't know they made them for guys. I put my foot in those things. I mean, they're like all like woolly on the inside, like with fur.
Yeah.
Oh, they're the greatest invention ever. So I busted those things out. My feet were snugly warm on Friday night, but that wind was cutting me. And I'm like, I'm not ready for this. Like I was all excited to like get to wear, like you said, get to wear the hoodie, like I'm like, this is like it turned. I mean, the week before we were dying of the heat at the football game. Like it's supposed to turn this quick. Like, how about letting us enjoy it a little bit? Where it's
it's true. I know. So this, what's funny is that we have this fireplace outside, and Steve, like he makes fires in it all through the summer too, but it's like hot in the summer, right? So you're sort of like, yeah, the fire. I mean, not that great. But as it's turned cold, this has been like prime fire weather. So he's been pretty excited about this.
Yep. Good stuff. I got Pam a solo stove last year. We haven't.
Oh, those are great.
I know we haven't even taken it out yet. We need to do that. probably.
Yeah, you have to.
I got that for Christmas last year. We haven't used it. It's still sitting there. I forgot about that. Sitting in the garage.
Now you need to
Never
get it out.
home. I'm telling you, we are so busy. I'm not kidding. With cheerleading and stuff, we are never home. I think you can actually get on the deck, they said. But our deck's made out of wood. I don't know if I really trust that. Anyway.
I think I would just put something under it.
I don't want to burn the house down.
Right.
All right, that's a big ask. Okay, so we are going to jump into the Disney talk again. Listener Chris gave us a suggestion, and his suggestion was, let me get to the email here. He said that he proposed a show for us, and he said, if you were Disney's CEO for a day, what would you do? You can make 3 changes. One that would be very low cost, one costly change, and one in between. Here's his 3, just to kind of lay the groundwork. His low cost, each park employee has 1 instant magic that they can use each day. A kid crying, give him a balloon. Overhear a guest complain about how long waited a ride and telling their kids that they can't do that ride because of a dinner reservation, give them fast lane access. Items that really don't cost Disney any money, a perennial year of 1,000 wishes. Okay, so that's his low cost, empower the cast members kind of thing. I like that. That's very good. That's very good. His medium cost, every company has a frequent shopper card. How about a shopper card that partners with a grocery store, gas station, etc.? So every purchase you make, you earn a little bit. I know that there's the Chase Disney Visa card that does this, but not everyone wants to put everyday purchases on a 20% credit card. Over the course of a year or two, Disney gets to know all of your shopping habits, and you accumulate some points for your next visit that you can trade for free gear or food. Okay, kind of a Disney Visa, but not a credit card. Kind of just I guess like a Walgreens where you get points. Kind of a point card. I guess like I don't know what do they call that at Walgreens?
Rewards card.
Rewards card. Yeah. Because I always tell. Here's the thing, I don't want to mess with the rewards card at Walgreens, and I always tell them I don't have one. And then I go use my Apple Pay, and it pops up automatically like, sir, you had one. It just popped up on your Apple Watch. I'm like, bonus, I guess.
All you have to do is type in your phone number.
Okay, here's the deal with that.
Oh, no.
I did it once, and they're like, that's not the right number. Because I always type in my wife's mobile number, and then it wasn't that. It was like our landline and our old.
Oh, gosh.
I can't keep track of what phone number it is. So now, like, I'm just like, they're like, do you have a rewards part? I'm like, no, I don't. And so the Apple Pay, right? They're bing. I'm like, they're like, sir, that was your rewards card on your watch. I'm like, well, bonus, I guess. And they're like, well, you paid already too. I'm like, well, score. Why you asking then? If it's all automatic, play the game. Anyway, back to Chris. His high cost would be connect the land between the Star Wars Hotel and Black Spire Outpost and do that right. Make the hotel a one-night event where they close down Black Spire to only hotel guests and make it a true immersive vacation, incorporating the best ideas of the Star Cruiser experience. Kind of like an add-on excursion you might pay extra for on a cruise, but more affordable. There's got to be a way to do what Universal did with Hogwarts Express, not a box truck, and fill in the Star Wars land over time by adding rides and attractions. Once you get into character at the hotel, everyone you meet would also be in character. The other guests and staff and everyone in Black Spire would also be decked out in Star Wars garb. You don't go into fantasy baseball cap and see accountants in khakis. Everyone's wearing baseball gear. You should even modify the storyline for different events. Mandalorian, Ahsoka, the Wookiee Earth Day. You put question mark. Couldn't remember. It's called Life Day, right?
Life Day, yeah.
Life Day, yeah.
I'm on it. Adults only events, etc. I'm not the creative one, but Disney sure is. I don't just think that they did the entire Star Wars world right. The original movie came out 50 years ago, and people still will cosplay. My sense, thanks again. So I like that. Maybe just kind of rethink and connect Galactic Star Cruiser, the Halcyon, to that's his big thing. So to rework that. So we get 3 wishes. We're CEO for the day. Should we start with the middle one, the high-end one, or the low-cost one? Rikki, I'll let you start. Which one I'll let you pick. Which one we're going to go with first?
I mean, I think we should work our way up. So I think we should start with the low-cost one. Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's go with our low-cost. You go first.
All right. So I think something that would be really great for, you know, the domestic Disney parks to do is something that they do all the time at like the Asian parks. And that's, they have all this really cute Disney themed food. And they try a little bit at, you know, Walt Disney World and Disneyland, but I feel like maybe they do it a little more at Disneyland than they do at Walt Disney World. But I feel like, you know, that at like the Asian Disney theme parks, they always have such really cute Disney themed food options for guests. And I think, you know, in this Instagrammable world that we live in, the fact that we're not doing this on like a more, you know, daily basis at the domestic Disney parks is a darn shame, because, you know, they started introducing the popcorn buckets, which was a big thing, you know, overseas. And they've started realizing, hey, these popcorn buckets and drink sippers are pretty popular here. I think the long lines of, you know, some of the options have definitely proven that. So I just feel like, you know, maybe taking another piece of the puzzle from overseas and bringing it over here would be a really, really great idea. And I think that they'd sell so many, you know, Disney themed food items that would just be crazy. So I think they'd make so much money off of it.
And yours is revenue positive, right?
Yeah, exactly.
His wasn't really revenue. His was more like PR positive. Yours is revenue positive.
Yeah, you're not asking for too much. Like you're literally, and you know, like I said, not only to get the revenue from people who, you know, buy it, but then they're going to share it on, you know, social media of, hey, look how cute this is. And then other people will want to try it. And so then it'll just bring more revenue. So yeah, I think that's a win-win for Disney and for Disney fans to, you know, get to eat Instagrammable inspired dishes. So I mean, they're trying. They just don't have it yet for some reason. I don't feel like they don't have the
God, people love sharing their food on Instagram. I mean,
what are you talking about?
Right here is the three that we do. I mean, we all yell. I mean, especially Hannah too.
Yeah.
You know, the camera eats before we do.
It sure does.
Let's take a bite of that. Is everybody good? Everybody got the pictures? Okay, now we can
eat. Now we can eat. Yes.
Read first. That's how
yes.
that's if you eat with us. That's the rule. All right, Pam, low cost. First move as CEO.
Okay, low cost. I'm looking at my ideas here, trying to figure out what's going to be the lowest cost. But I think this one is. And what it is I'm going to have more specialized help. More specialized My Disney Experience help at the resorts. So like, you know, when sometimes you go into the parks and you see the blue umbrellas and the lines for the blue umbrellas are challenging. Now I've gotten some My Disney Experience help at the resorts, but there are some things that it seems like they can do better at the parks. And I think that each of the resorts, the guests deserve to have that ability where there's a kiosk, where there's a dedicated person or two, like team member that can help with that. And it can't just be resort staff who can, you know, rotate through as the lines, because there's not as much check-in staff needed anymore, right? So if they could help in this space, I think it would just take some of the frustration out when there's a problem, when there's an issue, whatnot. And it's really, I think, just shifting some staff around from things that they don't need quite as much now to other things. So.
And I got to give a shout out to the folks who work those blue, I call them the blue umbrellas.
Yes.
They're awesome, man. They solve, I've rarely had a problem that they can't solve quickly and efficiently. They're great.
Exactly. And if they could just do that at home, at the resort, I think that would be great. And I think the other thing is too, they do it during times that are very tense for guests. Like it's not always the best guest behavior when they're there, because there's a frustration level and they're able to de-escalate that and help with that. So
I mean, that's why I tell my guests at the Magic for Less, like if all else fails and you're in a theme park, find a blue umbrella, go to them, explain the situation, and they're probably going to be able to find a solution that will work quickly for you.
Yes. Ask for help. Like remember that you guys are both on the same side. They want to help and you need the help. So go into it with that attitude. And
they have access to do things that most people don't have access to.
Yes.
They can see globally where we can see like only part of things. And they let them rock, you know, and also, you know, give them the clear expectation. What are you not that you're trying to get something, but what is your end goal? Like, what problem are you trying to solve?
Yes.
Let the cast member know that. Be clear. Like, what is the outcome you're trying to get? And so let's work together to get there. And I mean, be clear. You don't try to, I'm trying to sleep in Cinderella Castle tonight. That's not going to happen.
No.
Be clear. Mine is super simple. I mean, as soon as I saw this email, easy for me. Drop the park hopping at 2:00.
Oh, yes.
I just think that just boom.
Bravo.
Yes.
Come that it's 2024 at this point almost. Like let's get rid of that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think there's a reason for that anymore. And it's just it causes
headaches,
all kinds of logistical situations at this point where I just don't think we need that. Just staff the parks. I mean, at this point, do you think there's a staffing benefit for the park hopping 2:00 thing? I just don't think I just don't see what the benefit could be at this point.
I guess maybe in that first shift, that they're able to keep it down a percentage, you know what I mean? Their staffing needs, so that after, like, I am assuming that the second shift comes in around that time or whatnot. And so maybe that, I don't know though.
I don't either. Yeah.
It really is a very clear expectation for how many people could be visiting that park between the hours of when they open and 2. So does that help in any way? When you extrapolate it to us, it was like, well, what could that benefit be? But think about extrapolating that out by thousands of cast members.
True.
So I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, they're not calling me and telling me that.
No.
So we don't know. I wonder if there is, but they're going to. Yeah, I know. Just the whole thing.
Well, I mean, come January 9th, a majority of guests, not us, we'll still have to have theme park reservations, at least as it stands right now.
Again, also something that they could get rid of. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see.
They should get rid of. I'm not saying that.
Yeah. But I mean, and I think that has to be coming, right? Because I think you're not going to want to have 2 systems. That's going to be really wacky. But right now, that is how it is going to be. That we'll have to have theme park reservations. So as of right now, everybody still has to have theme park reservations. And so I just think that you're right. Like, they know exactly where we're going to touch in.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think, like, you drop that 2:00 time. How many people realistically would still be hopping between tapping? Because most people aren't getting that rope drop, right? Most people are Rikki in it and getting there at 10:30.
Exactly.
I mean, there's probably not that many people that are going to hop, before 2:00 anyway. But I mean, the diehards that are really wanting to maximize their time.
Right.
10%ers. Let them rock. Like, turn them loose.
I agree.
I think. Yeah. But I mean, we're talking like the people listening to our show, or the people like, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. 11 o'clock, because we're done at it. We were there at 8:30, and like we've done 12 attractions at the Magic Kingdom. We're ready to go at noon.
Yeah.
Like, because we're efficient. Like, we know all the strategies. Like, most people rolling in at 10:30, like, hey, what are we gonna do today?
Right.
Without a clue. Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
What you're gonna be doing.
Yeah.
You're getting into a world of hurt because you slept in. That's what you're getting ready for.
Dropping both that park hopper thing and the reservation thing for annual pass holders would be just huge and super easy to. I mean, maybe for us easy, maybe not for Disney. Yeah, I don't know.
We shall see. All right, Pam, let's go to the medium down the middle. What'd you do?
Okay, so this is going to make some people not very happy. I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna put it out there anyway.
Ooh.
I think that for guests that are booked at a deluxe or deluxe villa resort, I think that for their stay, I'm giving each guest one individual Lightning Lane attraction to be used at some point during their stay. It does have to be reserved in advance. Just one.
So they only get one. And not per day, but just per guest.
Nope, just one per guest throughout for their stay. It's not going to put a horrible strain on the system. It still will need to be booked, at different times. But I think that, not that I think that Disney's pricing is out of line, because I see the pricing for all different kinds of vacations. And if you think that Disney pricing is high, that you should check out some other ones. I mean, it just is like inflation is here, my friends. So it's not inexpensive to stay at any hotel right now.
True.
So, but I think that it needs to be an incentive, like it needs to be guests staying at the deluxe and deluxe villa resorts do deserve some kind of resort benefit. And I think that that is one. So I know, I don't like that email to.
Unfortunately, stay at a deluxe resort. I'm totally fine with that. If somebody stays at a value, because you're paying extra, you should get extra perks. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I know. So
here's the thing: 25% of the guests won't redeem it.
I bet it'll be higher than that. I bet. I mean, but I think it would be a nice benefit for those guests who are paying that price to stay there. It just would be something really, I think beneficial. And I don't think this is going to cost a ton of money. And I think the other thing that it may do is show people how easy the individual lightning lane process is, because 9 times out of 10, it's actually very easy. They've had some quirks lately because they've had quirks in the system, but for people who work in programming, it is a live system. And when they're trying to roll things out or make changes or whatnot, there's disruption to the system. So we give them a little bit of break on that. But the individual lightning lane is typically a very easy thing to use. It's built into the app, all of those things. So it shows people how to use that too.
I like that. And again, I'm not a person who stays deluxe a lot, but I think that there has to be, at the prices you're paying per night at a deluxe resort, you have to have things like that. You have to. And I'm totally fine with that. That's just how it is.
Good. I don't want to make enemies with that one. I just thought it'd be a nice
I don't think you
gesture.
are. I don't think you are. And I think individual lightning lanes are different than Genie Plus, like lightning lanes. I think that they're a little bit different just the way I see things. Okay. Here's what I'm doing for my medium one. I guess this counts as medium because it's going to be revenue kind of neutral. That's how I'm kind of seeing this. And I think it's the biggest win for everybody. PR win for Disney. People listen to our podcast. Again, everybody woo-wooed when I said get rid of Park Hopper. People would lose their minds if this happened. I mean, in the Disney community. Bring back Magical Express for a price, but make it like cruise line. Make it something, because the cruise line, if you don't know, in 2024 they raised their prices for transfers. I think it's like $45 a person. That is not expensive. Mm-hmm. That is fair. I think it's been $39 forever per person. Just make it something reasonable, but also here's the deal: like, we're recovering at this point. Make it again so the luggage is included. Right. That was what made Magical Express not ground transfers. It was truly Disney's Magical Express. And you can't say that you can't do this because you did it for a decade or more. Like, it was so magical, and I am not kidding, to drop your bags at Lambert St. Louis International Airport and boom, they would show up at Pop Century to my door. That was truly, that was like, oh my, like I couldn't believe it. And then, when you left, you took them down to the Bell Services, and I didn't pick them up until I was back in St. Louis. That was unreal. Mm-hmm. And people at this point, I think wouldn't even balk if it was $55 a guest added onto your package.
I think there would definitely be people who would be upset because they'd be like, it used to be free. So you can absolutely get people to be upset. But
you're right. But I think that it's an option. And if you added the luggage, people would be doing backflips.
I think you're right in the sense of having an option like that would be something that people would absolutely want. We hear about it all the time I wish that Magical Express still existed. Now, of course, probably a lot of the reason why people wish it existed was the fact that it was free, but it was an easy way to get to the resort. People didn't have to question. They didn't question, how do I get to the resort? Because, we see that all the time of, oh my gosh, Magical Express doesn't exist anymore. How do I get to the Walt Disney World Resort? So there's definitely something missing. So I think it would be a great thing. And they definitely could charge for it, and it would definitely be something people would end up paying for. They grumble about it, but they, do it. So I I agree with you. I think bringing back Magical Express would be a no-brainer. Again, probably something that, logistically it doesn't make sense to do, but even with a charge, because I feel like if they had the ability to charge for it back, then they would have. So, I mean, clearly something in the finances makes it not doable, but I think you're right. It would be a huge win for Disney.
It'd be a PR win. I think it would be, God, it would be. The thing is, to me, Magical Express back in the day set Disney vacations at Walt Disney World apart from anywhere else.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't have to think. Like,
Yeah.
you got on the plane and it was all over. Like, you didn't have to think. You just landed. They pointed you towards the Magical Express into the airport, and bam, you're on vacation. Like, that was so simple for the, for Joe from Iowa, or whatever that meme was a while back, or somebody from Kansas. It was super easy, and you can still do that now, but it's just an extra step to think about. And the whole thing about a vacation is you just want to cut down the friction, right? And I think that it'd be nice. I think that it truly was, but the luggage is the key. Like, again, the luggage was magical. So that was what it was. Okay, Rikki, give your medium one.
All right, so my medium, I think it's going to depend on what ends up happening this year with Disney Jollywood Nights at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So this year they're introducing a hard ticket event for Disney's Hollywood Studios for the holidays, which I'm super excited about because actually Disney's Hollywood Studios is my favorite park with the holiday season. They just knock it out of the park with what they do without having a hard ticket event. So I'm really anxious and excited to see kind of what they do with this hard ticket event for the holidays. But I feel like it would be really interesting if this is a success and it goes well. I think it'd be really interesting for Disney to introduce a second kind of hard ticket event for Halloween at Disney's Hollywood Studios. And I think that, something along those lines would go, maybe focus more toward the villains. I think actually didn't they have like a villain themed hard ticket event at one point? Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah.
Which was crazy. Yeah. But that just goes to prove like how popular something like that would be. And I know that it was crazy because a lot of people wanted to meet the characters and stuff like that, and yeah, that was nuts. It really was. I remember huge lines for that, but I feel like if they introduce something like that on a more annual basis, maybe some of that fury and fire will die down a little bit because people won't be like, oh my gosh, I can't ever go to this again, because that's kind of how that, because I think it was limited time magic or something that they introduced that. And so, I want to say that's what it was. And so like they were like clamoring going, oh my gosh, this is like a one-time thing. And then that caused more, panic of, getting to meet the characters and stuff like that. So I feel like having something like that for the Halloween season at, kind of like an Oogie Boogie Bash, like they have at Disneyland. I know that at DCA they have like the villains treat trail and stuff like that. That would be a great way to maybe incorporate the villains. You've got them up on a stage, but so you can do like selfies with them, but they're still like they're still. It's not so like I gotta meet the characters. You know what I'm saying? Like the lines aren't maybe so long or something like that. So maybe that'll work. I don't know. Just me spitballing here. But I feel like a Halloween event at Hollywood Studios would be just a no-brainer if the one goes really well with the holidays season. So, yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot. My big one was going to be at the studios, though. See, so I was thinking along, I'm like, oh, the studios, because you're bringing in events. See, because now we're into the big one. Like,
yes, we are.
You want to shake it up? Now, see, I'm kind of torn on my big one, but this would be huge because this would make the studios definitely the best park at Walt Disney World. But I also don't like this idea in a way. Man, I would love it when I'm down there. I'd bring Cars Land to the studios. And then what I would do is at Epcot, I would just turn Test Track back into World of Motion. Like, go totally back to the 80s. Like, and make it an Omni-Move or slow thing. Because you wouldn't need two of them.
Well, I mean, but Cars, but you have to agree. the Radiator Springs, yes, it is the same ride basically, but it's a
You
very
need Test
different.
Track and Cars Land.
I think there's space for both, but that's a whole
not
other
at the
fight.
same,
So
not at the same destination. Like I
I
think
still think
you
there's
can have
space for
Test
both
Track.
in both
You can have,
destinations.
no, I
Look-
think you can have Test Track in Florida and Cars Land in California.
Look how many things are similar though in the parks, now. I mean, you've got things that are very similar already.
No, I get it. I mean, because you got like
I think that
centers
you
that are
can do
similar.
both,
Yeah,
but
no,
I get where you're going.
I think you can, but I'd love to have I never got to do World of
I know
Motion
you'd like to do
so
World of
I'm
Motion.
spending big money. So you
are spending big money.
And I love those old school rides, and I never got to do it. So make that over at Epcot. I'm spending. This is my big one.
Yeah.
So like Epcot, make that World of Motion from back in the day, because that'd churn all of us Disney nerds so happy. Be like a living with the land kind of situation where we all love that because it's old.
That's true.
Okay, so we get that, but then Cars Land at the studios, because that's my favorite land, dude. Because at night you could go over there and have the shaboom every night.
Yeah.
I mean, the good eats at the Cozy Cones and Flo's V8 Cafe, and I mean, you get Radiator Springs Racers. Also, Luigi's Cars, the little where they spin at the end. You got to put your hands up. Underrated. That is awesome.
It's very underrated.
I didn't know that was a thing the first time, and then I was like, I'm a local, because the second time I knew to put my hands up at the little spin. I was like, yes, I'm living my California lifestyle. It is great for Instagram. I just love that land. So you know what? I don't know if I like duplicating lands on both coasts, like, because it's kind of a California thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should kind of stay in California. Don't at me. God, I'd love to have that like at Marathon Weekend. I just live there. I love that land.
I get it.
Well, I don't know. I'm torn, but that's going to be my one. Bring Cars Land to the studios, and then that park would be unreal.
You're right.
All right, Ian Forrester, spin bucks.
Okay, so this is for the big one, my big one, and I'm really good at doing this, actually, spending a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah,
I'm very good at this. So if I had a blue sky budget, right, to go with this, I would have a resort renaissance a la Michael Eisner when he started adding resorts from way back when. You think about before Michael Eisner started adding all those resorts, there were not that many resorts on Disney property, and I would love to see it again, if only for a selfish reason. I'd be adding values, I'd be adding moderates, and I'd be adding some deluxe resorts as well. I just really would. And I think that one of the things that Disney does so well is the theming, is the storytelling. And I enjoy that so much at their resorts. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's nothing like staying at a really posh resort experience, right? And you can do that at so many locations all over the world. But there's also something very special about a Disney resort. And they carry that storytelling and they carry that theming through the resort, through the grounds, and everything about the resort in a way that is very challenging to find. I mean, think about the different pools that they have, the different landscaping that they have, the different flowers they use, the different music they use. Just all of that really combines for this really cool experience that you can only get at Disney properties. And so that would be my big spend.
Well, a great example of that's Art of Animation, like a value resort in the Little Mermaid section, which are the least expensive rooms of the value resort. If you look at the landscaping, the plants, you got to look at this, like they're bent so that it looks like there's underwater current. Like you got to know, you probably don't notice this if you're staying down there, but like the plants are actually bent like all the same way because they have like seahorses and like little fish like in the landscaping. And so if you look, they're kind of bent all in a way that it looks like there's a current going through the landscaping. It's a value.
It is. And the plants that they use around the pool, they look like underwater plants. Like they're just so similar. They look like all of that. And that's a great example at Art of Animation. But they just do such a phenomenal job that I want that even more. I want more of it. And I want there to be more themed resorts so that guests will have like they connect with one, you know what I mean? Just like think about it. There are people who love the Polynesian and don't want to stay anywhere but the Polynesian because they love that theming. Or there's people who love Pop Century and don't want to stay anywhere but Pop Century. And I love when people make a connection with something. I mean, that's what travel is about. They think about things in a different way. They experience things in a different way. And I love that that can be what, travel brings to people's lives. So I want to see it continue.
What's funny too is like, you don't know what your next I didn't think I would like the Riv, right? I mean, the Riv is as far from Mike Rallman as I could be. Like, that is fancy and it's the Riv, dude. I'm a SEC football guy. Like, it's totally not my style. I went there, I'm like, this place is awesome. You just never know until you experience it. So, Disney, give me some more experiences. Like, I love French Quarter. I love Riverside. I love Pop Century. I love Coronado. That's my jam. That's my top resort right now. Like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I want to try new things, and that's a great way to meet people. I love your idea. Let's do it.
I know. I'm ready. Oh, let me tell you, if Disney gives me the green light, I'm there. We're coming up with them all.
Like it. All right, Rikki, no pressure, but you got to close us out with the big one.
I don't know that mine's as good as Pam's. I feel like that's really fantastic.
I love resorts. Let's go.
I know. It's a really great idea. And they definitely need more resorts for sure, of all categories, not just deluxe resorts, which I feel like they've heavily focused on. And I get why, because they can add DVC to them, but like, we need more moderate and value resorts for sure. Yeah. Like, absolutely. But my next one is a selfish one. So join the ride, will you? I am going to say that if with my money, I am going to completely 100% finally update the Imagination Pavilion to its rightful place in the Disney pantheon of everything. Like, it needs to be this fantastic attraction. It's been proven that the Figment meet and greet is successful. I think, it was so exciting to see him, even though I didn't get to meet him. I will soon. But like, that's really exciting.
Bring back
No, let's create a whole new video for, a movie for that, whether it be Figment related. I feel like that would be a really great idea to, maybe do a Figment related video or something else. But no, we don't need to bring back Captain EO. We don't need to have Pixar shorts in there. We need something new and fresh and creative in there. We need to update the attraction. It needs the love and zhuzhing that it should have. Like, it's so dated at this point. I still love it, of course. But it definitely needs some love and care. And a new story. Of course, if they brought back Dreamfinder, I think that would be just the slam dunk option there. And then you've got to update the whole ImageWorks area as well. There's so many things that they could do there. And even if they don't want to do like an interactive thing, there's just so many creative things that they could do in that space. So I say we definitely need to take that building, gut it, maybe just completely redo it, but do it in a loving way, because clearly the fans want Figment. I think we've proven that, time and time again. And, it's time that this pavilion is given the love that it actually deserves. So please, that would be my thing that I would spend my money on. Is, again, it's a completely selfish thing on my part, but I think that's where we need to go is to completely update the Imagination Pavilion to something so that it's not this dated thing anymore.
It's weird to me that the Disney company rarely touches that pavilion.
Agreed.
They stay. That thing's hot as a hot potato. Like, they just don't touch it.
They don't touch it at all.
The Imagination Pavilion, it's like at the core of what Disney is.
Exactly. And
maybe it's too big of a risk. Like, right? It's like, you can't screw up imagination. That's like who we are.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, there is a lot of pressure on updating that attraction. Like, I totally get it. And you're going to be judged harshly by Disney fans, which, I mean, that's something that they're probably used to being judged harshly on by anything at this point. So, either way, I think that there are things that they could do to make it right, that a majority of fans will love, and still tie into that old school mentality of what Imagination was, but make it current for my daughter. I'm just saying, like, I feel like we just need to meld the two, and I know it can be done, and I would love to see it be done, and I hope maybe at the next D23 they actually decide to do something with the pavilion. I mean, they say they're going to spend a lot of money, updating the parks. And I know they're talking about, Encanto and Coco and, everything like that. And Indiana Jones. But I think a lot of us would really like to see an updated Figment attraction and Imagination Pavilion.
Hang on. Breaking news. Brandon in our live chat says he always gets the skunk. Wait, I always hang on.
I mean,
hey, whoa. Rikki, when you ride that ride, do you get the skunk?
I get burnt coffee, but that's because I know that's what it is.
You don't get the skunk. Pam, do you get the skunk?
It seems like we get it a high percentage of the time.
Is that thing fixed? Like, does everybody get the skunk? Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure we get the skunk. Yeah. But,
okay, I'm calling the Las Vegas game on that right there, the slot machine. That's something.
When it's the smell of burnt coffee, it doesn't bother you so much anymore. That's how I smell. When I kind of weirdly kind of enjoy the smell now when I go through there. So I'm like, it smells like coffee. We're good.
Right.
She changes poopy diapers.
I do. Those do not smell like a rose. I'm just going to say that.
I just gagged right here into my microphone.
Nor do they smell like coffee. I'm just saying, not a rose, not coffee.
Sorry if you're having your Friday morning McMuffin. I apologize for that. It's time to get out of here. People are trying to have their hash browns.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hey, again, Sunday night, we're all going to all be together and carry this on because Scott's going to be on his way for his 40th birthday bash out in Hawaii out at Aulani. But we're going to have a conversation on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch for the Sunday Night Live call-in show. So join me for that. 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. It'll be a lot of fun. And one big, one middle, one small change you can do to the Disney Parks as CEO. It'll be a lot of fun on Sunday night. Don't forget, our show is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan a great vacation. No additional cost to you. That's the greatest thing. We talked about inflation. I rolled into our QT the other night. I just had to get a gallon of milk. $6.25 for a gallon of milk. I was like,
well, that's because you stopped at QT.
Dude, $6.25 for a gallon of milk.
You stopped at QT. Go to the grocery store for milk. Do not go to a gas station.
It was like 10:30 at night. I just needed milk for my Cocoa Puffs. That's all I needed.
Then you get a small container of milk and go to the grocery store the next day.
Because I didn't have to play the game again the next night.
No, because you go to the actual grocery store.
And I wanted to put it back, but I didn't want to be that guy. And I'd already hit the button on my Apple Watch. So I was like, this is supposed to be like $3.
At the grocery store, it is.
I probably got an alert on my watch because my heart probably went, sir, you're out of your norm on your heart rate. 25. Anyway, here's the best part. You make up for it when you work with the Magic for Less because no additional cost to you. That's what that is. I just couldn't believe it. I just had to throw that in there. I almost had a heart attack when I saw that. But we're going to plan a great vacation together. It's going to be awesome. We're going to get you down to Walt Disney World. Great tips. Once you book that trip, your inbox gets this pixie dust every so often with, hey, let's talk about ADRs. Let's talk about getting yourself ready for some great dining on your trip. How about all kinds of weather? We talked about that with Michelle. She's at Walt Disney World right now. We give you tips for preparing for all kinds of weather. We give you the external battery tip. You got teens? You need that tip. Yeah, everybody needs it, but especially if you have teens or preteens. We get you ready so that you can have a great trip. You don't have to think. We think about it for you. We get you ready. You're going to get that stuff in your inbox. You're going to say, oh, glad I thought of that. Hey, just tell your significant other, whoever you're going with, guess what I thought of? We don't need to have the credit. You guys take the credit. That's what we do. We're just there to help you along. So just swing by the magicforless.com today. Fill out that quote form. We'll take it from there. We're going to work together. We'll be like that little genie in your pocket. So check them out again, themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And come support us on Patreon. We'd appreciate that. $5 a month gives us the support we need. And you get all these shows every week and, all kinds of stuff. And you get Mike in the Midwest every week as well. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Give Rikki a follow on social media at Rikki Nibs. Pam's at TMFLT Pam. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. We'd all three love to talk to you this week. Also, give Scott a follow. His pictures are probably going to be prettier than any of ours. He's at Scott on the social media. I'm so jealous. It's going to be awesome. So I'll be following him like a stalker and checking out all the palm trees and sunsets and all the great food he'll be having as well. Yes, that's a cute little figment there, Rikki. Thank
I'm
you.
just saying, I'm throwing in the tie-in. It needs to happen. It needs to happen.
Perfect.
Yes.
That one didn't even fall down. All right, so we are going to get out of here, but I'll talk to you guys on Sunday night. Be there. I need your calls. It's going to be a lot of fun. I love talking Disney with you. So for Rikki and Pam, I'm Mike. Wish you a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. All righty.
Yay.
Very cool.
That
was a good one.
Yeah,
All
well,
right.
thank you to Chris.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you guys later next week.
All right. See you guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.